Hello everyone, and my name is Mohammed Junaid. Today I'm going to tell you force. By the way, what do you think a force is? Well, here are some ways of describing a force. Well, it can be a push, a pull, a stretch, a squeeze, a catch, a twist, and many more. We can't see forces, but we can see the effects of a force. What is a force? A force can be referred to a push or pull. Each picture shows an example of a push or pull. Force is an external agent capable of changing the state of rest or motion of a particular body. It has a magnitude and a direction. Well, what do you think a magnitude is? Well, magnitude is the power used to do the push or pull. Well, the direction towards which the force is applied is known as the direction of the force. The application of force is the point where the force is applied. Remember that. How do we measure a force? The force can be measured using a spring balance. The SI unit of force is Newton. Remember again, a very important fact. What are the effects of a force? Well, force can make a body that is at rest to move. Well, rest meaning it isn't moving. And it can stop a moving body or slow it down. It can accelerate the speed of a moving object, meaning it can change the speed of any moving object. It can also change the direction of a moving body along with its shape and size. Cool, right? A push or pull on an object is called a force, like a car being pushed by a man or a girl pulling a chair. Force comes into play due to interaction, and interaction of an object with another results in force between the two objects. It can change the state of rest or motion of the body. Force changes the state of motion of a tire, makes it to move faster. A box at rest moves due to force. Force can change the size or shape of the body. Force applied by hands on the door changes its shape. Force changes the size of a number band. Types of forces. There are two types of forces based on their applications. Number one, contact forces. Number two, non-contact forces. Do you know what they will be? Contact force. Well, forces that act on a body either directly or through a medium are called contact forces. Examples of contact forces are muscular force, mechanical force, and frictional force. Now comes non-contact force. Force that acts through spaces without making direct contact with a body are called non-contact forces. Examples of them are gravitational force, electrostatic force, and magnetic force. Well, the two types of forces are the contact and non-contact forces. Well, let's start with contact. Well, contact forces are the forces that are experienced by bodies when they are in physical contact with each other, like the muscular or frictional force. The muscular force is the force due to the action of muscles. It's obvious. And frictional is the force that is acting opposite to the direction of the motion. Now comes non-contact force. Non-contact forces are those forces that are experienced by bodies even if they are not in physical contact with each other, like magnetic, electrostatic, and gravitational. Well, magnetic is of course the force that is exerted by a magnet. Electrostatic force is the force that is when a charged body and another charged body is exerted. Now comes gravitational. Well, the attractive force exerting between two objects is called the gravitational force. Do you get the point? Fun fact, what's the strongest force? The strongest force is the force nuclear force, which is 100 times stronger than an electromagnetic force. Impossible and astonishing. Do you know what the weakest force is? Well, it's gravity. Gravity is the weakest force as its coupling constant is small in value. Fundamental forces of nature: electromagnetism, weak interaction, strong force, and gravity. Identifying forces. Number one, gravity. So let's get started with gravity. Well, gravity is a pulling force exerted by the earth. The gravitational force from the earth pulls in a direction towards the center of the earth. As you can see in the image, the gravity is pulling the skydivers towards the earth. If there was no gravity, we would just fly off and stay up. Now comes air resistance. Get excited. Well, in this image, you can see that the force is slowing the skydivers down. Well, this force is pushing in the opposite direction of gravity. Do you know what it is? Well, use your brains. There you have it, air resistance. Air resistance is the name of the force that is pushing up against the parachute. Gravity is pulling the skydivers towards the ground. However, they are slowed down because of a force, air resistance, which is pushing against the inside of the parachute and they descend more slowly. Remember, gravity and air resistance are opposing forces in this situation, like in the image. What do you think friction is? Look at the image and try to find out. So basically, this is the cyclist's driving force which the arrow is showing on the right, but the friction is going on the left. So basically, friction always goes in the opposite direction of the force. Water resistance. I think you know its meaning because of air resistance. So in this image, you can see that the man's pushing force is going on the right side, but the water resistance is going on the left. Well, these arrows are showing that water resistance always goes in the opposite direction of the force when you're in water. Well, you must be wondering, why do ships not sink if gravity is pulling them to the center of the earth? Well, this is because of a force called buoyancy. Well, this force always pulls you up and gravity pushes you down. So now you will go in a balance. That's why boats are made very carefully and measured properly. This is another example of a ship. This is a worksheet and you'll have to identify the forces. I hope you get the concept. Thank you.